Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. My name is Melissa and I do true crime videos. On October is going to be different cases that happen in Halloween, and on Fridays I talk about missing children. So today we're going to be talking about the case of A.J. Freund. I don't know if I'm saying the name right, but this missing child case is very different than the other ones I've done. So let's go ahead and get started. Don't forget to subscribe and also put that bell on so you can be notified every time I upload. So let's go ahead and get started with the story. Okay, the plight of missing Crystal Lake 5-year-old Andrew, or AJ, came into a tragic end on April 24th of 2019, when authorities found his body wrapped in plastic in a swallow grave near Woodstock. Parents John Cunningham, I hope I'm saying his name right. Oh, Joanne Cunningham, which is the mom, and Andrew Frendo both faced multiple charges in the boy's death. Before I keep going, I forgot to put a warning. I usually never put a warning in missing children cases, but this one I'm gonna put a warning. It is it involves the parents, and I searched this case a long time ago, so I really don't remember a lot. But if you are sensitive to children cases, go ahead and get out of the video now, and I'll see you again on Monday. The Louisiana Department of Children and Family Service had at least 10 prior hotline calls concerning Cunningham care of children, including four before AJ was born. Here's how the case unfolded. So, on June 7th of 2012, DCFS investigated a hotline called that Joanna, who then went by her married name, Summer Camp, is abusing prescription drugs and neglecting her 7-year-old foster child. While going through a divorce, the investigation finds no credible evidence. On June 14th of that same year, her neighbor called the DSFS alleging substance abuse, noting that Summer Camp has a foster child and an 11-year-old biological son, according to McHenry County Sheriff Office police report. The call is referred to a private agency that DCFS had hired to monitor the foster children care. The complaint is deemed unfounded. On August of the same year, the DSFS removed Summer Camp foster child from her care after learning she had moved without informing the agency of the child's whereabouts when she went to live with Andrew Freund, her much older divorce attorney in Crystal Lake. On October 22 of that same year, Crystal Lake police called the hotline after responding to a domestic dispute between Summer Camp and Frendo, her divorce attorney, with whom she is now living in Crystal Lake. Her son, 12, is home at the time of the fight. The DFS declines to investigate. On December 14th of that same year, the DSFS investigator hotline call from the mother of Cunningham, now divorced and using her maiden name, that she's abusing prescription drugs, mentally illing, and neglecting her son in a house of its. Later, the complaint is deemed unfounded. Wait, hold on, guys. My daughter's trying to. Oh, that's why. Yeah. Sorry, guys. So now we're in October, but this is in 2013. A hospital social worker calls the DSFS hotline to report AJ was born 2 days earlier with optis in his system. The DFS intends an investigation into allegations of neglect against Cunningham. Both Cunningham and Freund tested positive for heroin. The investigation reveals capable evidence that the neglect occurred. AJ is removed from his mother's care. That same year, on October 21st, a McHenry County judge grants Cunningham mother custody of her older son, 13, after the grandmother raised neglect allegations. November 14th, CFS is granted temporary custody of AJ, and he is placed in the home of a maternal cousin. Cunningham and Fred relapsed by a year, but in early 2014 began drug treatment, random drug screening, parenting classes, and counseling. So now we are in June of 2015. Judge ordered AJ to return home. The parents both long complained with drugs treatment served had been allowed regular visits with the boy since 2014. September 19th of 2015. A co-worker from Youth Service Bureau, a private agency hired to monitor AJ's foster care calls, the hotline after Freund refused to temporarily move out of the house following concerns about his most recent drug screen. The CFS hotline logs it as information only. February 2016. Judge restores a guardianship legal custody to AJ's parents. On April of that same year, after a series of 26 schedules and announced home visits from the CFS contract over the course of 10 months, AJ's case is closed. February 16, 2018. The CFS is contracted by unknown caller after Cunningham had called police to her home to report a roommate who is recovering from heroin addicted is missing and possibly suicidal. The child welfare agency responds to this unknown, but there's no record of any investigation. On March 21st of that same year, the DCFS intentions an investigation into allegations of neglect by Cunningham and Freund. A hospital social worker called the DCFS hotline after observing odd bruising on AJ's face. AJ was taken to the emergency room after police found Cunningham asleep in a car after she relapsed on drugs. On April 25th of that same year, after several unsuccessful attempts to see the children, a DCFS investigator meets with them in the interviews. Cunningham, the investigator, found the boys to be clean and did not find signs of maltreatment. On May 17th of that same year, the DCFS make a final safety assignment out of the home, finding it to be safe, neat, and accordingly furnished. Cunningham is later confirmed guys, give me 1 second. I'm so sorry, guys. Give me 1 second.
What was that?
Cunningham is confirmed to be in drug treatment. The investigation is closed. The next day, deemed unfound due to lack of credible evidence of abuse or neglect. September 20 of that same year, someone called for a well-being check on the house because allegedly had been without power for weeks and appeared run down. Cunningham would not allow police inside, but an officer saw AJ and his younger brother and said that they appeared to be healthy and happy. Police notified the DCFS, but the agency declined to investigate based solely on not working electricity. If y'all getting mad like I am right now, you're just gonna keep getting mad because this case is one of these cases that just December 18th of that same year, after Cunningham calls police to accuse a former boyfriend of stealing her cellular phone and prescription medications, police check out the family home, which described as dirty, cluttered, and disrepair. Police called the DCFS CFS hotline after noticing a large bruise on AJ's hip. Both AJ and Cunningham attribute the bruise to being pawed by the family dog. AJ also told a doctor, maybe someone hit me with a belt. Maybe mommy didn't mean to hurt me. The DCFS allowed the boys to go home from the hospital as long as their father is there. December 19th, a DCFS investigator makes an announcement visit to the home and finds the house in better shape than police had described in 1 day earlier. Freund denies using corporal punishment of the mother used drugs. June 4th, 2019. The DCFS investigation again finding no abuse due to lack of evidence. February 9th, February 7th, police are asked to do a well-being check on Cunningham, who is pregnant and has two small children. She fails to answer her phone for 2 days. Officer made contact with Cunningham, who said no assistance is needed. The DCFS is not notified. March 4th. Doing a search delayed files on Cunningham's cell phone, police will later say authorities find a 2-minute video from this date that shows a badly injured AJ on a bare, urine-soaked mattress in a crib. The boy is nude except for small handbags around his wrists and circling in his hips. Cunningham is recording the video is heard verbally beating him for wetting the bed. After AJ removes an ice pack from his face, he seemed to have deep red bruises around his eyes and on his neck, clavity area. Cunningham has sent the video to Freund to illustrate to him her concern about their son's behavior, Fred later told police. On April 18th, AJ's father calls police to report the boy missing, saying that after waking up, he could not find his son. AJ's parents said the boy was last seen at bedtime in the night before about 9 p.m. in his family home in Crystal Lake, according to police. The FBI is called in to assist. Police observed the home to have ripped up floors and clothes and garbage everywhere. The DCFS intends another investigation, and AJ's younger brother is placed with the licensed foster parent under a DCF safety plan. The younger brother shows no obvious signs of abuse or neglect. A day after AJ's report missing, police say that they do not think he was abducted and focus their investigation in the home. Also, the DSFS made public its contracts with his family since AJ was born in 2013. Authorities said Freund and Cunningham stopped cooperating with the investigation. Fred is taken to the police station but returns home and later attends a vaginal or does AJ's mother. Cunningham, who is 7 months pregnant, answers questions from the Tribune report, describing AJ as an insane smart and a great big brother. She says she's staying with a friend instead of the family home because investigators left the unlivable and it was depressing to be in the home without her children. Girl, if acting was something that you could do for you would be good. Because who believes those lies that comes out of your mouth? On April 22, police said that they're still focusing on the family home. They did not have any suspect. But an attorney for Cunningham said AJ's mother was advised to stop communicating with police after it became clear she was considered a suspect. April 23rd, police released a 5-minute 911 call made by a friend in which he calmly said he searched for AJ in the neighborhood before calling police. Police also released 5 years of police reports related to the home and its occupants to paint a green pictures of unsanitary and unsafe conditions, including dog feces, a lack of electricity, and possible drug use. AJ's parents appear at a DCFS hearing in McHenry County Court. Nothing is resolved, but an attorney for Cunningham says the DCFS made multiple allegations. Cunningham and Fredo are charged with the murder hours after police say they found what they believe is AJ's body wrapped in plastic in a shallow grave near Woodstock. DCFS says another investigation. April 25th, the slain boy's parents appear in McHenry County bond, where a judge has set a $5 million bond for each one. Multiple charges, including first-degree murder and autopsy later in the day of, concludes that the child died from injuries to his skull and brain due to multiple blunt force injuries. In court records, prosecutor alleged the boy was killed April 15th. May 3rd, in a statement, crowd of more than 5,000 mourners attend AJ's memorial service. On May 31st, 2019, Cunningham gives birth to a baby girl, her fourth child. The children is taken into protective custody and placed in a home of maternal relative. A paternity test later reveals the child's father is an ex-boyfriend of Cunningham and not Andrew Freund. On the fall of that same year, Cunningham and Freund remained held in jail while awaiting trial. Each had pleaded not guilty and appeared in court for regular status updates. On October 13, one day before would have been AJ's 6th birthday, several dozen people gathered and walked in Crystal's Lake for a birthday party to celebrate the boy's life. On April 16, the slain child's estate files a federal lawsuit against a DCFS investigator and the supervisor who handled the final hotline complaint regarding AJ's hip bruise and fatally home. The lawsuit, naming AJ's siblings as his legal heirs, alleged the employee shows an inhuman indifference to AJ's safety and their handling of the December 2018 hotline call. On September 17, DCFS and Prosecutor General Merlin Panique turns over an interim confidential report to the agency director regarding employees' handling of the final 2 hotline calls in 2018. Recommends the termination of 3 workers. In 2018, the DFS confirms a 3rd employee has been moved to desk duties in response to her handling of one of the hotline calls. On May 27th, a McHenry County judge rules the dilapidated model ridden home where AJ was illegally beaten to death by his parents can be demolished. On December 5th, Cunningham pleads guilty to murder in the beating death of her son. December 12th, state official confirmed Carlos Agosto and his supervisor, Andrew Pauline, 2 children welfare professionals whose dismissal were recommended for their handling of hotline investigation 4 months before AJ's death, are no longer state employees following an international disciplinary process. A spokesman for the Illinois Department of Children and Family Service declined to say whether the men were fired or voluntarily quit. March 4th, and this is in 2020, a Chicago demolition company begins to tear down the dilapidated foreclosed house where authorities said 5-year-old AJ Freund was killed by his parents. Green Demolition offered to do the job for free, but to make the deal a binding agreement with the city, the work is carried out for $10. On June 16th of 2020, in a tearful, rebelling speech to the judge during her sentencing hearing, 37-year-old Joanna Cunningham insists she is a child of God. Girl, no, you're not. Just because you've been in prison, no, you're not. I don't believe it, girl. You ain't no. In serving of mercy. A McKinney County prosecutor referred to her with disgust as a horror of human being, and they were right. On June 17, 2020, a McHenry County judge sentenced the mother of AJ Freund to 35 years in prison for fatally beating her 5-year-old son. Joanne Cunningham must serve 100% of the 35-year prison term. September 10th, Carlos Acosta, a Leclerc McHenry County board member, and his former supervisors Andrew Polivin, two former state child welfare officials who were involved in an abuse investigation for months before 5-year-old AJ Fraud tragic death, are arrested. Both face felony charges, including endangering the life of a child and reckless conduct, to record shows. September 18th, Andrew Fraud, AJ's father, pleads guilty to a grave battery of child volunteer manslaughter and concealment of homicide death, and is sentenced to 30 years in prison. As part of the plea agreement, he must also cooperate in an investigation into the Department of Children and Family Service. Two agency workers face charge in connection to AJ's death. Fredo must serve at least a minimum of 18 years in prison. And that is the sad, heartbreaking story of AJ. I have so much. Give me 1 second, guys. Can you put it down? Janelle, can you put that down? Sorry, guys. My daughter is here with me. I have so much anger in these cases. When it comes to children, innocent children that are losing their lives because someone cannot do the job the right way. I'm not saying all social workers are the same, so please do not take this in a bad way. I'm just saying that you sign up to be a social worker. That's what you wanted to do. Being a social worker comes with a lot of responsibility, and I know because I know someone that my sister knows, and she's a social worker, and it comes with a lot of responsibility. But the fact that neighbors knew what was going on. I don't know if he went to school. It doesn't say. Neighbors were calling. There was a video of her harming her child, and nothing was done. Nothing. I'm assuming that when they called, I don't know if she found out about it, that CPS was being called, and that's when she started cleaning her house to make it seem like everything was okay. And if she did, she did a damn fucking good job. But if someone is calling someone else and they're seeing that this child is being neglected, why do y'all don't remove this? Why do y'all keep giving back this child to their parents that don't even care? I feel like everybody that investigated this case failed that little boy. That little boy should have been here with us today. But he was failed by every single person in this case. Nobody helped him. And if somebody would have helped him, if somebody would have done their job the way the job's supposed to be done, I think he would be here with us today. But nothing was being done. Nothing was being done. And it just, I don't even know what to say, guys. It pisses me off because this is not the first time that I have came across cases, this type of cases, and I really don't think it'll be the last. But it just breaks my heart because the little innocent little boy is not here because nobody wanted to help him. Nobody wanted to remove him out of a toxic, dirty household. They kept giving her son back, and she mistreated it. She mistreated that child. I don't get it. Like, how do you sit there and do that to your own child? I don't get it. I don't get it. And it just breaks my heart. And I'm sorry, but I feel like when parents kill their children in the worst way that they possibly can, they should end up in the death row. You should end up being in death, and you should die too. You should not be breathing. Yes, you're in prison, but you should not be breathing the same air as everybody. We should not be paying taxes for parents that end up killing their own children and are sitting in prison breathing while your child is not here. No, sir. No, ma'am. Y'all should be put in death row. If you cannot handle to have a child, do not have a child. There's so many ways to prevent that from happening. And I think we as people need, when you see something or when you see a child and their bruises, or you see a difference in a child, call social worker, but also make sure that something is being done. Don't think that it's none of your business, but make sure that it's being done. Make sure that these social workers and police are doing something about it to hopefully remove that child from that home and not give them back. And it just breaks my heart. And I hope that AJ is resting in peace in heaven with God, and he's happy and not in pain anymore. And I'm glad that his other siblings are now in the care of people who love them and who's going to take care of them. And I hope that they have, have memories of AJ, or they tell them about AJ and how sweet, nice little boy he was. He did not deserve this. He was born into a life that he did not deserve. He didn't ask for it. And it just breaks my heart completely. I will see y'all next on Monday, guys. I hope y'all have a good weekend. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Who should be blamed, or what should have done, what had been done more. Like I said, I think every person that handles this case should be blamed for what happened, because they did not help him when obviously he needed help. He needed help, and nobody helped him. Every adult in this little boy's life let him down, and that's not fair. And I can't stand that. I can't stand it. Like I said, y'all have a good day.